I've just come from work and I am so goddamn agitated right now. I know you can't tell because I've already cried and screamed in the car. And yeah, it's just the little things. And it's something that I wanted to talk about for the longest time, about how if you want to start union organizing, by the way, check out my fun hair. These are like mini space buns or whatever. And look at my little bunny who's going to assist me today. But goddamn, they're going to freaking try and put the silliest obstacles in your way. It's so funny to me how they are basically just trying to threaten you with all kinds of nonsense. They just try to convince you that you're wrong when you're obviously right. Like, they even point out to non-existing laws, which is such a stupid nonsense. And I just decided to put on some lipstick. I don't even know. This video is going to be all over the place because I just can't with... okay, this lighting looks pretty decent, I think. But it's insane. It's insane. But what I've been observing and what I am enjoying actually about the process is that if you have CPTSD and if you are neurodivergent, you are going to be able to grow and develop as a person, and it may actually help your trauma. I'm thinking now, like, as I'm reflecting on all the various events that have been happening in the past few months or so, I'm realizing just how much I am able to stand up for myself compared to the past, where I thought I was a useless piece of shit who doesn't deserve to live even, let alone fight for anyone's rights, etc. And now I don't think so, and I don't act in this way. I was able to speak up, even though it wasn't in a manner that I myself deemed appropriate, or because I have insane standards. Like, my standards are up here. I just think that I should be the most eloquent, the most well-spoken, smooth talker and whatnot, and I just can't, most likely because I'm autistic, and I am just so perplexed at little things. And whenever people start giving me misinformation, they usually do it in a stack, and my brain immediately goes to kind of categorize all these different pieces of information, and then it starts kind of analyzing this bit, processing that bit, etc. So it kind of does it in sequence, and then I'm unable to respond right away because it's just too much information, and much of this information is irrelevant. And whenever I try to point it out, people just get agitated and start saying even more things that are not relevant, and just they kind of try to confuse you. And I know that they do that for various reasons. Some may be unintentional, like this may be their own trauma response and whatnot. But the fact that I was able to stand up for myself when I was given misinformation, and when my personal attributes were criticized, when they actually mentioned the manner in which I spoke and talked about my presentation and whatnot, I actually was able to speak against that and say, like, this is not my emotional state, is not relevant to the question at hand, and like, why are you criticizing me for this? Like, I have an underlying neurological condition of which I don't have to let you know of because it's not relevant to the topic at hand. Like, I don't have to disclose any kind of diagnosis with you. You're not a doctor of mine. So I was so proud of myself, and of course I was shaking and nearly crying throughout the entire encounter, and then I cried a lot and felt like I was dying. I had a little meltdown, I guess, because I'm still kind of shaking, and this is why I want to put some blush on. No, this is not why. I just want to put some blush on for no reason whatsoever. And I am just so happy, actually, that some of these people are persisting in their weird desire to uphold capitalist standards for the capitalists not being capitalists themselves. They somehow still want to uplift those capitalists and protect their precious little rights, which is, to me, so silly. But then I'm able to grow and develop as a person thanks to them. And honestly, I'm glad that they are kind of resisting even the smallest of changes, because when people resist in such a manner, I become very stubborn and insistent. I'm like, no, this is not the law, and I'm going to show you in a 10-page essay how you're wrong, and I'm going to use all of my autistic hyper-focus type of abilities to show you, to prove to you each and every single point. And yeah, part of it may be a trauma response as well, a type of fight, if you will, but that's okay because I'm still using data and I'm still showing the things that are relevant to our particular work class struggle. So yeah, but the fact that they are kind of shooting themselves in the foot by continuing being stubborn about little things is just fueling the fire. Like, a few of the people at my workplace are kind of similar to me, where they are faced with this fight about little things, they become even more persistent, and now they actually, and myself included, we're actually doing a lot of this kind of out of spite. Like, we want to prove that we, the working people, can and will organize, and nobody can dictate to us what we can and cannot do, and that we're not stupid little ladies who cannot read the freaking law and who cannot manage to fill out our own papers correctly. Like, we are really angry now, and this anger is helping fuel our actual activity. Now we want to do things. Like, in the beginning, we had this whole kind of wishy-washy thing about, well, of course, we had our economic demands, which still remain and which are going to be our primary focus. So we had kind of a wishy-washy plan about the rest of the things, like how we can improve our conditions. And now I can see that people are much more willing to engage in a meaningful discussion about how we can improve our working conditions for ourselves, and I think it's invaluable. So I'm kind of grateful that the capitalists are doing the thing that they're actually supposed to do. Like, they're succumbing to the contradictions. Like, the weight of the contradiction is so much that it actually makes the whole system crumble. So I'm kind of happy that I'm able to see this process of decay and fallout. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to publish this video or not because it's all over the place, but that's just the thing I wanted to share today.